Hey climbers, Brent here. Are you ready to write your best songs ever? Are you ready to take that next step in your songwriting journey? Well, I want to help you with that. Listening to the C.L.I.M.B podcast is a great way to get started on your songwriting journey and to learn the basics about the art, the craft, and the business of songwriting. But eventually, you're probably going to need the personal touch. You're probably going to need some one-on-one feedback, some advice, and some help reaching your songwriting goals. And that's what I want to help do for you. I want to help you write your best songs ever. And I want to help you learn the art, the craft, and the business of songwriting, of how to turn pro in your mind and in your behavior before you ever turn pro on paper. Before you ever have the awards to hang on the wall, I want to give you the mindsets and the skills to earn that stuff. And so we'll dive into your questions and I'll give you honest answers. And I can help repair your song if it's already written but has a couple bugs and has some opportunities to get better. Or we can help prepare your song if you have an idea, a notion, a title. We can do your own private song title challenge if you want. If you want to get ready for a co-write, if you have a meeting coming up and you want to get your stuff locked down where it's the best it can be, I'm happy to help you do that as well. You can see my calendar, get all the details, and actually book a session at songwritingpro.com/coaching. That is songwritingpro.com/coaching. Now, if you're still not sure if a coaching session with me is the right thing for you, let's listen to what this climber had to say about their session.
Having been around musicians and songwriters a lot of my life, I always wondered why some made it and others didn't. And it never really made sense. Like there was a glass ceiling or magic formula, or you had to live in Nashville to even have a shot. But after coaching with Brent Baxter, I've come to understand that it's just like anything else in life worth having. It takes an education, knowing people, practice, and then more education and relationships. I didn't really have a clue how much knowledge and intention that it took until I was in the room with him, a man that made his living and fed his family with the knowledge that he has. There's a lot of naturally talented songwriters out there, but at some point, even the greats have to learn new skills and new ropes to stay relevant. I've had so many roadblocks and awe moments released from Brent that I've lost count. His simple observations have solved many of my complex problems, and he's made suggestions that have changed my entire direction on certain songs and pulled me up higher. Sometimes I cringe at the money I've spent on demos. If I had half the money I had spent on demos and put it toward my education, I'd have a lot less worthless demos. He's explained things to me in 5 minutes that really could have made all the difference that entire time.
Song Title Challenge.
All right, welcome to another Song Title Challenge where the question is, climbers, how would you write this one? This is a show where climbers, listeners of this podcast, send in their song titles to info@daredevilproduction.com. info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S. They put Song Title Challenge in the subject line so that it gets into the right folder. Then I spring them live to Brent on the podcast, and we mimic what happens in the first 15 minutes of a professional songwrite, where we've got the title that we're going to run with, and we try to cook up 4 to 6 different conceptual angles on how to write the lyrics before we actually start writing lyrics to see if we have the best sort of blueprint strategy to move forward. This is not a co-write in any way, shape, or form. You can use all of what we suggest or we come up with, or none of what we come up with, but the only thing we really require is that you do invite us to the number one party if that should happen. Anything you want to add to that, buddy?
Man, that's about it. Yeah, this is just to hopefully pull back the curtain a little bit and show you what's possible if you dig more deeply into your song titles. So you maybe don't run with the first one, but you walk it around the block a couple times and make sure that's the one you date a while. See some other people before you decide to get married to that idea and that angle. So that's what we're open to help you do. Date around a little bit before you settle down.
See some other people first before you settle down.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. This is from climber Sam Moore, who's actually the NSAI regional chapter coordinator in Dallas.
Yeah, I know Sam a little bit. I recently just taught a workshop for them down there. So
cool.
Good, nice group of folks.
Okay.
So, hey, Sam, thanks for sending this in. I'm going to say thank you now just in case I hate the title and I don't want to say thank you later.
So here's the titles. So Many Days. So many days.
Well, I have no idea, but that's why we're here. So, all right, so many days. So immediately I think of a couple of ways you can spin this. The first I thought, hey, you only get so many days to be alive, to be together, to be whatever. You only get so many, right? So there's that thing of kind of live like you were dying, right? Or live in the moment, live your best life because you only get so many days, right? So make the most of each day. The other thing I think of is, well, it's been so many days since something happened, since you left. It's been so many days. There's so many, there are so many days I had the opportunity to tell you how I feel about you or to go buy you flowers, blah, blah, blah. And now it's been so many days since you left. I had so many opportunities on so many days. Now it's been so many days, since you left me.
Ooh, there you go.
Which is a negative thing, but that's a way to kind of bring this so many days for it to flip a couple different ways. And that's one thing, if you're fairly new to this, that's what I try to do. I'm trying to let the title write the song. And so this is obviously, with Song Title Challenge, that's all I get to start with is a title. So I look at the words and go, okay, how many different meanings and different shadings, are there of this phrase that I can think of? And how can we tie some together in some interesting ways that would be, commercially compelling and relevant?
So real quick to jump into, usually you lean towards being positive on the lyrics.
I lean on purpose.
Right, there you go.
It's not maybe my natural bent, but knowing that as a professional, I know that in general, you get a better shot if you're positive.
Right, but I will say that if it turns out that maybe the negative spin on the lyrics is the best way, the most interesting way to go, think about the Mavericks. If you've never gotten turned on to the Mavericks, all their songs are these heartbreak-wrenching songs, but they're all upbeat.
Yeah.
They're not the slow ballad, man, that you would think they would be when you look at the title or if you read the lyrics. They're these upbeat songs with this killer voice, and it makes it super, super interesting. So you can get away with negative, but understand that, if you have this really negative, sad song, and then you also make it a ballad.
That's an uphill climb.
Right.
That's not the climb we want you on.
To it. Or think about Torn from Natalie Imbruglia. She actually took this negative ballad thing and turned it into a super pop song by putting a beat to it and just spun it a different way. Her and her producer, I can't remember his name right now, but
yeah.
All right, so many days.
Here's a way to think about it. If you start where your singers is beat up, it's negative. Beat up, beat up, beat up, beat up, beat up, beat up, beat. Right?
I used to do a thing like that when we played live. I used to be a lead singer in a hair band for the new climbers here that have come on board. I toured for 7 years, and one of the bits we had was I ripped off the When Harry Met Sally routine where she has the fake orgasm in the diner, and he's just looking at her like, what? And so I'm like, oh my God. And I'll be standing on the table as some super hot chick and be like, oh. And then I'm like, don't stop. You don't stop. Don't stop. It worked every time. It was good. Well, there you go.
Hair band.
Beat
there
up.
we go. Up, beat up, beat up, up, beat up, beat up. Yeah. Anyway, wow, you just went all Harry and Sally on the middle of our podcast. Hello, American Songwriter Podcast Network. We are Brent and Johnny. I have a new Southern Gospel single, and Johnny is faking orgasms on the show. Thank you.
Ruining everything. There you go.
There we go. We're pulling from both ends here. Okay. So many days. So, heartache with the beat is always a good thing. What are some other ways we can swing into so many days? I do like the angle of you only get so many days. What if one thing is playing off the different meanings of so many days? So many days I've had the chance to do this or that. Now it's been so many days since you left, or it's been so many days since something, or you only get so many days in your life, so make them count. But what if you also spend days and nights? You're taking kind of each word and go so many days for so few, blah, 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 right? So you go the many and the few. You play with opposites of the words. Oh, can that lead me into a hook, into an idea? So many days, so many nights. Ooh, days and nights. What if there's so many days? We only get so many days to have nights like this. What if that's kind of the thing? It's more of a party thing or a love thing or a good time kind of thing? You only get so many days to have a night like tonight. You only live so long.
Yeah.
You only get so many days when you're young and crazy. You only
so it's
get
like
so
a
many...
YOLO, you only live once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you only get so many days to have a night like this. if the general point of it is being young and stupid and crazy or whatever, yeah, you only get so many days when you're young and crazy, and you can kind of write it off and people don't judge you for it forever kind of thing. You only get so many days when you have the energy and you can stay up all night and, before you have to go get a job and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you kind of round out the title, the course. Yeah, you only get so many days to have a night like tonight. Before you grow up and got to start living right, you only get so many days to have a night like tonight. And so it's all just kind of a party good time song. That can be kind of cool. You just hammer that so many days. It's like, yeah, YOLO. Yeah, you only live once. And then you twist it again at the end with the day-night play on words.
Yeah.
And it's a party song. Or you can make it more of a love thing. You only get so many days to have a night like tonight, but it's more of a romantic kind of thing. Baby, we ain't going to look this good forever. Let's make the most of it. Which is not how you want to frame that, by the way.
How about this? You only get so many days to apologize, like after you crap the bed.
Yeah.
Before you're going to do real damage to something, like so many days, that could be like a fuse, right? Mm-hmm. Like a ticking time bomb, like so many days that you have to, or how about you only got so many days to finally ask her out before somebody else is gonna, and you're going to lose your shot,
Yeah. I wonder if you can kind of play with it. You only get so many days to make up for a night like that. To make up for, like a bad night, to make a night where you fight. You only get so many days after nights like that. Clock's ticking.
Oh, that's good. There you go. You only get so many days after a night like that.
Yeah. So
and it can be all like self-deprecating, like I'm on my knees, I'm taking out the garbage, I'm begging you please, I'm, whatever. Yeah. Like all the things you're doing to try to make up.
Yeah, so it's kind of you only get so many days to make up for nights like that, or there's so many days, or even like, you're kind of in the doghouse for so many days after a night like that. There's a way to say that, like, oh boy, so many days of a doghouse. One night at the bar can lead to so many days in the doghouse.
So many days before you can get another hall pass. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is, fun and light. And the whole party thing is fun and light. You only get so many days to have a night like tonight or whatever. That's like surface level stuff, just fun. It could be, if you're the artist, you can write these party songs, but if you're not the artist, the bar's kind of higher. The bar's in a different place. So I like the so many days to live. You only get so many days on this earth, right? So make them count. So you go in a little bit deeper about, really the deeper level of you only live once. You only get so many days of school. You only get so many days that your mom and dad are going to be around. You only get so many days of whatever. And before you can't get them back. Mm-hmm. And so make them count. I think that would be a cool way to go because it's positive. It's got some depth to it. You can paint a lot of different pictures in it where a lot of listeners could hook into it different ways, depending on what their situation is. You only get so many rides on that yellow school bus walking down that dirt road, going home, soak it up. You only get so many times of getting to pick up the phone and call your dad. You only get so many days when you can do these things. So appreciate them. Because you don't have them forever.
Like a no regrets thing. Like don't have regrets on stuff that, like bad stuff that happened that you haven't apologized for, and don't have regrets on, not doing the bungee jumping or the one thing you might be scared of or whatever.
Yeah, it's encouraging people to live well, which is cool.
Yeah.
And, maybe depending on your genre and kind of how you do it, you could almost frame it like, I was a idiot kid, and I remember Mama saying to me, course, son, you only get so many days, da-da-da-da-da. Could even be a religious thing. You only get so many days before eternity.
Yeah.
Jesus is knocking. You only get so many days to answer the door.
Yeah.
Don't put off salvation because you only get so many days and then the choice is made. You don't get a chance to change your mind. So that could go into like a religious context too of like, what you doing with forever? Yeah, what's your genre?
Yeah. I like that. So opposite of what you just said. So this would be like for like an outlaw brand or something, like maybe like a Jason Aldean or who's that dude with like the really big hat? He's always got the big cowboy hat. He's a smaller guy, but he's
Justin Moore.
Yeah, Justin Moore.
Yeah.
Something like that, where he's like that tough guy, cowboy type thing, country boy. But children and really old people are about the only ones who can say whatever they want to say and get away with it.
Yeah.
So maybe if you paint a picture like some dude that's like trying to hit on your girl in a bar or something, and you got to walk up to him and he says like the wrong thing, and the line is, you only got so many days that you can say something and get away with it. And you can talk like lyrically.
Today ain't that day.
Right. And today's not the day, right? Yeah. You only get so many todays.
Today ain't one of them.
And today ain't one of them. Yeah. And so that could be like a big high charged like bar fight kind of a thing that would be fun.
Yeah.
Lyrically, you could do stuff like where you could have fun with that lyrically because you could set up irreverent lines, but then reveal that it was said by a kid or something somehow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure how you would do that. Or like by an old person where they just don't care. And it's funny, like, so I just had this big family get together like this weekend, and all my nieces and nephews are down, and I'm sitting next to Kimmy, and my littlest niece, she's 7 years old. She's like, Uncle Johnny, you have really yellow teeth. Like, you don't brush your teeth. And she's like, now that I'm thinking about it, I've never seen you brush your teeth. I've only seen you rinse your mouth out with water. You know, you need to brush better. And Kimmy's teeth are perfectly white.
Yeah.
And she just is like, as a matter of fact as she could be. And it's just like, could be something fun like that where you could set up that kind of story and then you're sort of leading up to, you only get so many days you can say that stuff and get away with it, and today ain't one of them. You're going down.
Yeah. That's funny. Or you only get so many days when everything just goes right. You know, like you only get so many of those. It could be almost anything. Like, or you only get so many days when everything goes wrong. Your luck's about to change. Like it's gonna
like tomorrow's
change.
Another day. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it won't be forever. You only got so many days. So that could be a thing too about positive. Like I know things suck now, but man, you only get so many days when everything goes wrong. It can't last forever.
That's a big one right there where you can just be like, you know, so
hope.
save your money because you've only got so many days where things are going really good. There's going to be a change. Take care of yourself because you only got so many days before stuff's going to start to break down. You know, take care of your car, take care of your guitar, take care of your tractor, you know, those kinds of things, your motorcycle, because, you know, take care of your equipment because there's only so many days that you got, and take care of your girl, take care of your family, be present, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you just sort of
you only get so many days.
Positive thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And you flip it around because you only get so many days. You only live so long. So you live it well. Almost like a Eric Church, you know, some of it kind of thing where it's just life advice. Wisdom is what that some of it is about. And almost that kind of thing. You know, you only get so many days for this, for that. And so use it well because you only get so many days.
Yeah.
If you've twisted it that way, it means like you only get so many days to go to the beach without your shirt before people start going, oh, that kind of weird old dude with the man boobs. Or you only get so many days, you know, when you're both young and beautiful. So go take advantage of it. You only get so many days of them being cute little smushy little 2-year-olds. And, you know, all that stuff, man, live it. Pay attention to it, appreciate it, because you only get so many days. Which also means, like, you know, you only get so many days on this earth. I think that is kind of the big one. And depending on your genre and stuff, you could even start there and just life appreciating, like, being young. You only get so many days being young, kind of irresponsible before you got to get a job. And you only get so many days of your kids being at home and cute and still thinking you're awesome before they don't and they move up, before they get hairy and move away. And then you could even, like in the bridge, like, and you only get so many days to decide what you're going to do with forever, heaven or hell kind of thing, right? You could go there in like a Christian country or like a Southern gospel kind of way. So it's like you only get so many days. And so there are ways to even blend some of these into like a Christian country thing or a, maybe just straight up country thing if it's like mama's advice to you and you're a little bit more of a hellion, but somebody else is kind of giving you that advice. So the singer isn't as preachy, right? Telling you the listener what to do, but someone's telling them, you know, son, you only get so many days. So I think that could be pretty cool. Really just depends on what your lane is, what your strengths are as a writer, what resonates with you personally. But I'm kind of digging some of those areas, kind of the life thing. Because then I think you have a chance of resonating more than with just a party thing, if you're not the artist.
Yeah.
I think if you're not the artist, your best bet is to go with some life, go with some truth. Truth is your superpower. Don't be afraid to use it, you know? Give somebody a reason to pick your song. Because if it's just fun, groove, positive party thing, man, they're going to have those out the wazoo, as we've talked about on several podcasts recently. But know your lane. Do what works for you. So I think we got a bunch.
There you go. Well, I think that's a lot of good looks. I was just going to say. So if they want to work on this privately with you, what's the story with that? I know that Sam has already done this with you, but...
Yeah. We did a whole workshop for his whole NSAI chapter. So if there are any NSAI chapters, I do that stuff. You know, meet you on Zoom, wherever you are, and do a workshop. But also I do private coaching, private consulting. And so, it's your time to ask me your questions about the art, craft, and business of songwriting, get my feedback on songs. I can help you prepare your song. I can help you repair your song. We do private song title challenges all the time, all kinds of good stuff. You get all the details. You can see my calendar, and you can book a session at songwritingpro.com/coaching. That's songwritingpro.com/coaching.
There you go, guys. All right. Well, this brings us to the end of another killer song title challenge. Once again, send in your song titles, as many as you would like, to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S. And put song title challenge in the subject line so we make sure it gets into the right folder. This podcast exists because we want you to win, so keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.